I hate crime. I was indulging in my favorite impossibility, trying to pick a long-shot double. The entries for Randwick were on my office desk. I wrote down 3 long shots who had a chance, closed my eyes, circled my pencil in the air, stabbed. Silver Lady. First leg of the double. Then I started looking for the second leg. Talk about legs.
Good morning.
Hi.
The sign on the door says, walk right in.
If I had a red carpet, I'd unroll it.
The door will do, thank you.
She walked up to my desk like the star of a musical comedy show, but no showgirl ever had a more appreciative audience. Get all the dames you ever dreamed about, line them up, pick one, dress her in gabardine and a subtle perfume, couple of improvements, and you've got an idea of what she was like. She sat down.
You're Larry Kent, of course.
Yep. Right now I wouldn't be anybody else. I hope there's something I can do for you.
There is.
Good. But first, name.
Marcia Lawrence.
Single?
Yes.
Fine. Your trouble?
I'm being bothered by a man.
Only one?
There's only one who worries me.
Why does he worry you?
Well, to begin with, Mr. Kent, I'm a model.
Oh, what kind of a model?
Fashions.
Has the guy been following you?
Not exactly.
Sending you letters, phone calls?
A few phone calls.
What kind of calls?
Asking me for a date, that sort of thing.
And that's all you've got to worry about?
Well, you see, he employs me.
Who is he?
Gerald C. Kramer.
The fur dealer?
Yes. For the past week, I've been posing for him.
Wearing his furs, of course.
Naturally.
And he bothers you?
Perhaps I didn't put it correctly. Well, he seems to be very interested in me. Too interested.
And he's not satisfied just to look, is that it?
It's really very embarrassing, Mr. Kent.
Yeah, but now we've got this far. You've been working for Gerald C. Kramer, one of the biggest furriers in Australia. He's taken a liking to you and he wants it to go further, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where do we go from there?
Well, to tell you the truth, I can hardly stand the sight of him.
Oh, not a pretty boy, huh?
He's short and fat and greasy. I don't like him even to touch me.
Which he's tried, no doubt.
Yes. But so far, I've been able to keep him away without letting him know how I feel.
What do you say when Nature Boy phones?
A headache, an appointment, always some excuse.
Why can't you let him have the truth?
That should be obvious. He controls fur fashions, and he knows practically everyone in the fashion industry, furs and otherwise.
Mm-hmm. In other words, he could make things tough if he wanted to.
He could make it impossible for me to earn a living as a model.
Yeah, but what can I do about it?
Well, in the morning, he's leaving for the head office in Melbourne. This afternoon, starting at 1, he's holding his last fur fashion parade in his showrooms.
So?
I'm sure he's going to ask me to go out with him tonight. And from his attitude the last time I refused, I know he won't accept another excuse.
Can't dodge him anymore, huh?
No.
I still don't get your angle in coming to me.
I was wondering if you'd call for me this afternoon.
At the showroom?
Yes.
Why?
Well, you could pretend that you're my fiancé.
Why?
Well, if I could tell Mr. Kramer that you, my fiancé, are waiting, and if I'm nice about it...
It'd be a gentle brush-off, huh?
Exactly.
But he mightn't believe you.
He will if you come into the showrooms about 15 minutes before it ends.
Mm-hmm. Which is?
3 o'clock.
And then?
Well, perhaps I can introduce you before I leave. I'll think of something, anything. As long as he knows that I'm not available.
I've come across some funny assignments, but this one gets the blue ribbon.
Then you won't accept?
I didn't say that. But why didn't you pick some guy you know? Why me?
Believe it or not, I'm not friendly enough with any man. Besides, I'd rather pay for this sort of thing.
We left it at that. At 2:45, I walked into Kramer's fancy showrooms. A dame was parading in a silver fox. About 100 society hens were looking the fox over. About 30 guys, half of them bald, were looking the dame over. A short, fat, greasy guy, fitting Marcia's description of Kramer to a T, was standing to one side, smiling and rubbing his palms together. Then Marcia came out in a mink. The fat guy stopped rubbing his palms together, looked at her. Then, his business sense coming back, he glanced to see how the mink was being received by his prospective customers. I picked that minute to send Marcia a little wave. His eyes shot from me to her. That was when she gave me a big smile. When she went off, the fat guy came strolling over.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Yeah?
Do you have an invitation?
Invitation?
Yes. This parade is by invitation only.
Oh, sorry. I should have waited for Miss Lawrence outside.
Miss Lawrence?
Yeah, one of the models. You see, we're engaged.
Oh. I know Miss Lawrence very well. My name is Kramer.
Gerald C. Kramer?
Yes.
Oh, well, sorry for barging in, Mr. Kramer. I'd better go.
Oh, no. You can stay, Mr.
Kent. Larry Kent.
Not the American private detective.
That's right.
Well, this is a pleasure. Please take a chair, Mr. Kent, and watch the rest of the parade.
Oh, thanks.
Not at all. Incidentally, you are a very lucky man.
He gave me a nudge and what was supposed to be a friendly smile. Then he bounced away, happy in the belief that Marcia hadn't told her boyfriend that he'd been trying to pull a Little Red Riding Hood. Smart girl, Marcia. Kramer would never blackball her now. Not while he thought she had her eye on a private eye. 10 minutes after the show, I was outside with her.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. I'll send you a check.
It's not over yet. He might be watching. Let's go to my car.
All right.
Oh, by the way, never mind the check. It was a pleasure.
I believe in paying for services rendered.
Then pay me off with the pleasure of your company, huh?
Uh-oh. Out of the frying pan?
No, you've got me wrong. All I want to do is take you for a cup of coffee.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh. I like coffee.
So do I, but not in the cafes. I'll make it myself, American style. Eggshells in the ground, slow percolation.
Oh, that's fine. I like slow percolation. Where do you live?
Do you give me your word that I can trust you?
I promise I won't try anything you don't want me to try.
That's fair enough. I'll take a chance on you.
She lived in a big apartment building near the Cross. While she made the coffee, I chain-smoked a couple of cigarettes. I was sitting back when she brought the coffee and some sandwiches on a cute little table. Then she flicked on the radio and sat down with 2 feet of sofa between us.
Do you take cream, Mr. Kent?
Yeah, but I don't like taking that Mr. stuff. Can't you break it down?
If it doesn't give you any ideas.
If you called me Arturo Godofsky, I'd still have ideas.
Here, your coffee.
I had to move to get it. Now there was only 6 inches of sofa between us.
Well, do you like it?
The coffee?
The coffee.
Yeah.
You put up a good performance this afternoon.
Looking at you, it was an easy act.
Thank you.
You know, it's too bad Kramer isn't here now.
Why?
Then I could make it look as though we're really engaged.
Please.
What's the matter?
Your arm.
Well, I've got to put it somewhere.
Mr. Kent.
You agreed to call me Larry.
Yes, but I think it's time to be formal again.
Why don't you let yourself go, Marcia?
I have no intention. What are you doing?
Just looking. I like the way you fix your hair.
You're much too close. Too close.
You know, I don't blame Kramer.
Please.
And you can't blame me. Here we go.
No, I...
There was no empty sofa between us. For a minute she was human. Then she was pushing.
Please. Please.
Oh, you don't have to scratch.
Get away from me.
Okay.
You promised you'd behave.
Well, that's the only way I know how to behave. But I can take a hint. So long, sweetheart.
Wait.
Yeah?
I'm not that angry.
What?
Don't just run away.
You know, you've got me puzzled. I can't figure you out.
I'm the sort of girl that must know a person before I get really friendly.
Okay. I'll tell you my life story, huh?
Not all at once, please. Do it gradually.
When do I begin the first installment?
Oh, tomorrow, if you like.
Mm-hmm. But right now you want to get rid of me, huh?
By tomorrow, Larry, I might feel that I know you a lot better. Will you ring me then?
I said I would. Then I went home with a memory of perfume, fluffy silk, and a feeling that things were going to improve. I had a visitor. Gerald C. Kramer. He was sitting on my sofa. Naturally, I wondered what he was doing there. I don't like people just dropping in on me, especially when there's a knife stuck in them. There was a knife stuck in Kramer's left side. It had been pushed up, probably with an underhand shove. The result wasn't very pretty. My first thought was to phone the cops, but they mightn't understand a corpse on my sofa. I dialed Marcia's number, which I'd copied down before I left. The line was busy. I waited 5 minutes.
Hello?
Hello, Marcia.
Yes?
Larry here.
What is it, Larry?
I phoned you 5 minutes ago. The line was busy.
I was talking to someone.
Who?
A man who said his name was Rogers. He wanted to know if he was still here.
Why?
Well, he said it was very urgent, but he wouldn't give me any reason.
What did you tell him?
I said you'd gone to your flat.
Then what?
He hung up.
Are you giving it to me straight, Marcia?
Of course. Is something wrong, Larry?
Yeah, in the first place, nobody knew I was going to your apartment.
I didn't think of that. But what is it? What's happened?
I'll let you know some other time.
But
I had to think it out. I looked at Kramer's body again, still warm. I glanced at my watch. 5 after 6. I'd been at Marcia's place over an hour. The last time I'd seen Kramer alive had been at 3. I searched the room. Nothing in the ashtrays. Nothing touched. I looked through Kramer's wallet. It was full of notes. I went through his pockets. There were 2 keys on a ring, neither of which fit my door. It was while I was trying them in the lock that I noticed the 2 small pieces of wax on the floor. I picked them up, went down to the landlady's apartment.
Oh, Mr. Kent, and what you want this time?
Just a little talk, Mrs. Cassidy.
Now, if it's about that crack in the ceiling...
No, it isn't.
Or that bath heater, let me tell
Had
you.
it fixed myself. All I want to do is ask you something.
And what might that be?
Did you sweep the halls today?
Did I... Of course I swept the halls. I'll have you know, Mr. Kent, that I'm a clean woman. I sweep these halls every day in the week.
Yeah, but when did you do it?
Don't see where a tenant has the right to tell me when I can clean my own halls.
Sure, but as a special favor, Mrs. Cassidy, and I ask you humbly, can you tell me when?
Well, me lumbago was bothering me all day.
Then you swept the halls this afternoon, huh?
Well, round about 3 o'clock.
Mrs. Cassidy, you're a private detective's best friend. Thanks.
Might have known it. He's been drinking again.
I left her with her Irish nose twitching suspiciously. I had a clue. A wax impression had been made of my lock that afternoon. I lit a cigarette. Walked over to the window. Then I saw the cops' car pull up. I didn't want any talk with them, not for a while. I went into the hall, made it to the back door before they went past. When they started rapping on my door, I hit the road.
Larry!
I couldn't wait till tomorrow.
Come in.
All dressed up to go out, huh?
Yes. I was going to have some dinner.
Where?
Cafe? Just down the street.
With who?
Alone. Look, you've been acting very strangely, Larry. Why?
Kramer visited me.
Kramer? What did he want?
I don't know.
This is beyond me, Larry.
I'm not so sure.
What are you accusing me of?
How do you know I'm accusing?
Well, what else can you be doing? That phone call, for instance. You didn't believe what I told you.
It sounded phony to me, like you had to think of something quick.
Oh, now why would I do that?
Because of the knife in Kramer's heart.
What?
Her eyes were naturally big, but now they looked like 2 brown balloons.
Knife?
Yeah,
Dead?
as dead as you can get.
Where was he found?
I told her. While I did, I watched her face. She looked and acted the way a surprised person might be expected to. Then she sat down.
Murdered? In your flat?
Yeah,
Then the police call I received.
from a guy named what?
I told you.
Sure, but tell me again.
He said his name was Rogers.
Okay, you started to say something about that phone call.
Well, the man was asking for you, so there may have been some kind of a connection.
How?
Well, I told him you'd gone to your flat. How long after that did the police arrive?
10 minutes or so.
Then he may have phoned the police after speaking to me, wanting them to find you with the body.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let's try to figure the thing out. Here's what we have so far. The killer made a wax impression of my locket sometime after 3 this afternoon.
And then he went to the locksmith?
Could be, but I don't think so. Too risky.
Oh, he may have been prepared to take risks.
And why was he so careful about framing me? Nope, he made that key himself. Now, I put myself in the killer's shoes. I go back to the beginning. He sees me with Kramer at the fashion show. Then outside, he sees me with you. But how would he know that we'd go to your apartment?
We could have followed.
Yeah. Okay, he knows I'm with you, so he picks up a phone book, gets my address, goes there. Then he takes a wax impression of my lock, cuts a key, phones Kramer, arranges for him to come to my apartment, and kills him.
But how would he get Mr. Kramer to go there?
That's where I take a stab in the dark. He imitates my voice.
Then he must know you.
Not necessarily. I'm a Yank. All he had to do was put on an American accent. Over the phone, that'd fool Kramer because he only met me once.
You're doing a lot of guessing.
But it adds up.
To what?
The killer. I know just what type to look for.
Then you know a lot more than I do.
Here it is. 1. He knew something about locks. 2. He was at the fashion parade this afternoon, or somebody working with him was.
Now, how can you be sure of that?
Well, he had to know I'd be out of the way, or he couldn't use my apartment. Another thing, he called you asking for me.
That's right. But what can it mean?
There's one guy who might be able to tell me.
Who?
A fella who rolls his own cigarettes. He left the stub of one in that ashtray there.
Bill!
Bill came out of the next room. He changed his mind, went halfway back, couldn't make it. I'd been ready for him. Now I turned to face Marcia. She stood stiffly, swaying just a little. I could almost hear the wheels clicking in her brain. I went over to the guy named Bill, picked up the gun so he wouldn't be using it again. Huh. I might as well have left it there. My practice on the police range had paid off. Marcia was standing in the same place. She stole a look towards the other room. Bill's feet were sticking out the doorway. Her eyes went to me.
I'll tell you about him.
First, let me take a guess. That fashion parade this afternoon was by invitation only. Yet nobody stopped me at the door.
Bill was supposed to be at the door. When he saw you arrive, he walked away.
Then he went to see about my lock, huh?
He was an expert. He managed the building for Mr. Kramer, designed all the locks for the first storage vaults.
You and he planned this, didn't you?
No!
Then why did he come here?
He threatened me. He said I had to tell the police you weren't with me. I was frightened. I was mixed up.
Oh, you poor kid.
He wanted to use me, Larry. Don't you see? He threatened me. He said he'd kill me.
You yelled for him when I spotted the cigarette.
I wasn't shouting for him.
What were you doing?
Trying to warn you. I didn't want anything to happen to you. I remembered that kiss this afternoon. I wanted more. There will be more, won't there?
Sure. As a matter of fact, here's one now.
Larry. Larry, I know just what to tell the police.
Yeah?
We could say that he came here to threaten me, but that you arrived just in time.
What else?
We can tell them how he followed us here this afternoon, how he made the key for your flat, phoned Kramer from there saying it was you, and then how he killed him.
Yeah, but what was the motive?
He stole first from the storage vault and sold them. He thought he could stage a false robbery later, but Kramer wanted to go through the vaults before he left for Melbourne. Bill hadn't expected that.
Hey, you know an awful lot, Marcia.
He told me, he even offered me some of the money if I cooperated. It's in his pocket now. We could take it for ourselves. We could let the police have it as evidence.
I think we'll let the cops have it. It's safer.
Whatever you say, Larry. I'm in your hands. Kiss me.
Sure. Don't look now, but I think I hear flat feet coming up the stairs.
The police? Now, you're sure you have the story ready?
Yeah. And I've got some advice for you.
Yes.
That blue silky thing you had on this afternoon.
Yes.
Wear it in the courtroom.
What?
It'll go great with the men in the jury.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'll tell the cops the truth.
You...
Coming! They got it straight, too. Why did I play around with Marcia? For a very good psychological reason. Let somebody think they're making the grade with the sales talk, then suddenly pull the rug from under them. Usually they give up the ghost. And that's how it was with Marcia. She broke and admitted that she worked with Bill, whose last name was Thompson, incidentally. She didn't wear that blue silky dress in court, by the way. She decided on black. But it didn't work. They gave her 20 years. 20 years. As my blonde friend Louise said.
That's a long time, Larry.
Yeah.
She won't look so nice when she comes out.
No, but she'll be a lot smarter.
You know, Larry, I don't think it pays to be smart. I'd rather be dumb for the next 20 years and enjoy myself.
Now you've got the right idea.
Let me see. 20 years from tomorrow, I'll be exactly 43.
From tomorrow?
Yes. It's my 23rd birthday. Didn't you know?
See what I mean, girls? Marcia tried to be smart, played both ends against the middle, and got 20 years. Louise doesn't even read the newspapers except for the comics. But she got a lovely pin for a birthday. And...
Larry.
Good night.